What has working internationally taught you about communicating across cultures?
I'm an advisor for a company in the UK. I go over there and I spend about a week every quarter over there. And I think, Americans and Brits kind of like to think that it's big brother, little brother. We're in the same family, Our cultures are drastically different in a lot of ways. And I think, working with them, it was really it was disheartening to come from the startup world where everything's can-do attitude and go to an environment that, this was named, the company that I work for is named one of the top 50 companies in the UK to work for. They're a great company. I love working with these guys. But there are little things that really kind of trick you up that were kind of like a bummer, right? Like in the United States, a grilled cheese company got $50 million in funding from one of the best venture capital firms in Silicon Valley. That is the very definition of like all ideas go. It's wide open space. There are more eternal optimists bred every day in the United States than anywhere else, right? Like the American dream is basically, if you want to do it, it's yours for the taking, right? Whereas then I talk with, Alex Hunter is a buddy of mine that his wife's from California. He spent considerable time here. He actually doesn't even have a British accent anymore. He spent so much time here, but he's from Britain. And he's put it best to me. In Britain, everybody knows they have a very cynical sense of humor, right? And I think that pervades the entire society, where he says, you come up with a new idea and British society will go, oh, you have a new idea. Let's see if it flies. It's just like they just like poo-poo it before it's even had a chance to even get out on the on the launch pad. And working with that company in the UK has taught me that when I come in and I'll say, hey guys, we need to do X, Y, and Z so that we can move on to this next phase, and they'll be like, well, we really can't do X because of A, B, and C. And I'm like, you can do X. What you're telling me is that you don't want to do X because of A, B, and C. You can fix A, B, and C. There is no unsolvable problem, right? And I think that's something that really comes up a lot across Europe. They're a lot more conservative, I would say. Exact opposite when you go to India and Asia. Man, those guys are like, it's wide open territory. Dude, China is growing. That is a massive economy, 1 billion people, and it's growing at 10 to 12% a year. So it's really interesting. You go to all these different places, and the emphasis, because of culture, emphasis in South Africa, for instance, is on revenue, early revenue. A lot of the investment deals are all tied to revenue goals and stuff. Europe is a little bit similar. The United States, they're like, nobody thought Facebook was ever going to make money, and now it's making $4 billion a year, right? So, and because of our culture, we're a lot more open to risk, and we'll go ahead and take that. And I think that now that other major economies are starting to sputter to life, and they're starting to get their own version of the American dream, India and China, I think, are two very good examples. There are a lot of programmers in India that are just are starting to realize that they don't have to work at a call center. They can go and they can raise a small amount of cash, and they have 1 billion people there that are all ready to pay a little bit of money. And if you can get 1 billion people to pay you 10 cents, that's real coin, right? So they're embracing, and also because travel is becoming cheaper. Obviously, they're making more money, and their economies are coming up, so they're able to come here. And it's been really interesting to see that the American dream is alive and well, and it just happens to be in a communist country and India, which is a socialist country. So it's been interesting. I like interfacing and talking with people like that. I like spreading the dream. And I've been telling, we actually had a little luncheon at the company in the UK, and they were like, "What's the most frustrating thing about working with us?" And I was like, "You guys are so much better than you give yourselves credit for. Quit being so cynical. You can do it. You just gotta go do it. This isn't rocket science stuff here." And every time I come up with something we need to fix this, and you're like, well, maybe we should probably do this other thing instead. And it's just just do that, get it over with, move on to the next thing, And it's been it was kind of funny. There was actually some nodding in the room. And then afterwards, they're like, one of the guys came up to me and he's like, I'm really glad you said that because I didn't even realize that I was doing that. And now I realize that I'm poo-pooing stuff that I know I could do, and I don't even know why I'm doing it. I don't know why I'm poo-pooing this. I can do it. And it was really cool, that they were like, yeah, we can do that. And they've really grown as a company. Like I've seen them, it's a 1,200 person company, and I've seen them move more and more quickly. They're getting a lot more confident that they can take on those bigger challenges. I didn't have a whole lot to do with that other than basically saying, telling them that, look, guys, you can't do this. You just gotta do it.